What if confidence isn't something you think your way into, but something your body has to feel safe enough to inhabit? In this episode, I'm joined by Jenny C. Cohen, an integrative neurosomatic practitioner and former award winning performer, to talk about why so many high performing women feel stuck in their heads, disconnected from their bodies, and exhausted by visibility. We explore what embodiment actually looks like in real life, how chronic stress, trauma, and overfunctioning live in the body, and why forcing confidence often backfires for women in leadership. If you've ever felt invisible, overwhelmed, or like confidence advice just doesn't work for you, this conversation will help you understand what's really going on beneath the surface. Welcome to Career Growth for Working Women. If you're ambitious, capable, and quietly carrying more than your role reflects, you're in the right place. I'm Shannon, promotion and compensation coach, and I help women fast track their next promotion by teaching them how to show their value so clearly leadership can't overlook them. Here, we talk about career advancement, visibility, burnout recovery, and building confidence without burning yourself out or shrinking to fit someone else's expectations. So grab your coffee or reheat it for the third time and let's get into it. Hello and welcome to the show. My guest today is Jenny C. Cohen, and what makes her perspective especially interesting is how deeply she understands what it means to be seen, not just intellectually, but physically and emotionally. Jenny's work sits at the intersection of embodiment, visibility, and leadership presence. Before becoming an integrative neurosomatic practitioner, she spent years as an award-winning dancer and performer, training her body to hold attention, pressure, and expectation. Later, through experiences like illness, identity shifts, and motherhood, she began to explore how the body responds to fear, stress, and visibility, especially for high achieving women. What I appreciate about Jenny's perspective is that she doesn't talk about confidence as something that you think your way into. She talks about it as something that you feel safe enough to inhabit. And many women, especially in leadership, or high responsibility roles, that's where things actually get stuck. So today we're going to explore what confidence looks like when it's embodied, not forced, and how women can lead with presence without performing, pushing, or overriding themselves. Welcome, Jenny. I'm so excited to have you.
Oh, Shannon, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yes. Okay. So you talk a lot about embodiment and what happens if I know I have some listeners and they're thinking like, I'm always in my head. I'm in my head all day long. What does that actually mean in real life?
Oh, that's a really quick question. All right. So, when you're in your head all day long, some physical and outward manifestations are you lose track of time. That's one, right? Or
Yes.
you'll go to the grocery store without your list and you'll come home with multiple items of the same thing. You have a backlog of things you don't need, and then you don't get the one thing you went to the store for in the first place.
Yes, like dinner.
Yeah, like dinner, right?
Been there, done that.
Or toilet paper. Like you have four bottles of lotion, but no toilet paper that you went to the store in the first place. You will start to become short tempered. You'll lose your temper not because you're an angry person. It's just you lose your patience faster and quicker. And another thing that will happen is that you'll also feel at the same time invisible, more and more invisible, that your needs aren't being met, even though you take care of everyone else's needs. You know what needs to be done. You know when that child's going to tip back in their chair before they've even started to tip back in their chair.
Right.
Yet when you need something that you feel is very small, and the few times you ask for it, no one's ever there to help you out of whatever bind you're stuck in. These are all outward signs. Inward signs, you stop looking at yourself in the mirror. You start eating for comfort instead of safety. I'm sorry. You start eating for comfort and safety instead of understanding and feeling real hunger and thirst. You're not feeling anything. You just kind of do it. You ignore it, or you eat later when you're starving and you're hangry. But you're
Yes.
not making the right choices. You're just, eating
Right.
the yummy crispy bar. That's really not great for you,
Right. Exactly.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are when you're not really physically understanding that you've come to a point in your life where all of your backup systems for pretending you don't care are failing.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and most of us are at this breaking point When I was released from my breast cancer treatment, I felt so alone. And on the outside of it, I had won competitions during my cancer treatment. I was doing gigs for teaching everywhere. And
Wow.
I looked on the outward healthy again, kind of. I was
Right.
performing and being asked to come here and come there. And I felt so lost, so alone, guilty I was still alive because there are a lot of people dying from breast cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and angry. I was really angry. Like, I thought I was so healthy before. I was at my pre baby weight.
Wow.
And now I'm post breast cancer in menopause because chemotherapy will throw you into menopause. I didn't feel connected to my body, and I was so afraid I was going to waste the second chance at life. And that's where we all are now because of the pandemic, which I refer to as the panini, because people with different definitions whether or not it's over, right? And
Right.
I come from a family we're all immunocompromised, so we're still taking precautions when we're out. You may not see, I may not be wearing a mask, but I have an air tamer, Manuka guard nose spray, and usually a HEPA hand traveling air filter with me everywhere I go,
Wow.
just so
Mm-hmm.
I can, you can see me smiling at you, and I've
Right.
got a barrier of safety so that
Yeah.
I don't bring it home to my son who has type 1 diabetes.
Yes.
All of us right now, we're post this huge global event. We're
Mm-hmm.
angry, we have guilt, we
Mm-hmm.
don't quite trust our bodies or anybody else's bodies for that matter, because everyone goes,
Yes.
it's allergies. I'm like, but you're hacking up a lung. It's not allergies. You got a cold or something. You could at least be honest, right?
Right.
Now, how do we process through that? How do we find the center again? And then for me, and I have permission to speak on this, Shannon, because my kids are now over 21. So legally, without their permission, I wouldn't talk about it, but they know it's to help other people understand.
Right. Right.
So my kids were through IVF. They're miracle babies I was never supposed to have. My
Wow.
husband got testicular cancer, and we had to do IVF, in
Mm-hmm.
vitro fertilization. And before they do that, they work up the mother. And I ended up with severe endometriosis and a giant golf-sized cyst on my ovary that we didn't know existed.
Wow.
So if I hadn't had to go through that, I would have known, right?
Right.
And in that workup, we had these miracle babies that were the center of my earth. I was like, God said no, we play God, have babies anyway. So then God was like, all right, you want a baby? I'll give you two at the same time. Ah! So here, my miracle babies, one of them goes into a lot of emotional distress. We didn't know. She was masking until she came to me one day and said, and she showed me scars on her body. She'd been pretty severely self-harming and making plans to take her own life.
Wow.
And we were like, whoa, we need to stop everything. And
Mm-hmm.
in that caring for her, I realized, whoa, I didn't get breast cancer because it was a fluke. It was because of a lifetime of repressing my own needs that accumulated to me getting cancer.
Right.
Right?
Wow.
I didn't realize the effects of it. And
Yeah.
now, just so you know, the breast cancer rates for women are dropping to younger and younger ages. So the rise in breast cancer is increasing for us. And
Yeah.
some of it is environmental,
Yeah.
some of it is genetic, and a lot of it is trauma, unaware trauma that we've been accumulating in our bodies.
Yes. That, that makes sense. Because I've heard that too. Like I had severe back pain for a long time, and I went through a session with somebody, and they talked to it, and they're like, "What kind of trauma have you had in your life?" And it stems from that. And so my body in my back was trying to be stable, because I couldn't. And once I like started heal, I'm not ever. I don't feel like I'm ever going to be fully healed from that. Like, but I started releasing it, and I don't have back pain. Like I can walk and I can do all these things. And so I think our bodies are so, they're just, we don't treat them as well as we should.
Correct, correct. And thank you for saying that. Your body thanks you. My body felt your body being happy that you said that, because in 2009, I came across this instructor. Her name's Donna Mejia, and she actually has a Fulbright award when she was working at University of Denver and dance, because she was one of the few fusion, we call it fusion belly dance, but fusion artists, she calls it transnational dance, who was reminding people and educating the dance world about how the body itself is a sentient being, a little bit separate from our mind. And
Mhm.
now there's science that backs it. We have the same cells in our brain that's reflected back in our heart and our gut. So everything you want to do in your mind, your body's going, let me do it. This is not the, I'm 57, all right? So this is back in Jane Fonda era. We were like, beat your body into shape, right? Don't let it
Right.
excuse yourself. You need to get your body under control. And it's actually, your body has always, its a sole purpose is for you to do your sole purpose,
Right.
right? Think about marathon runners or elite athletes
Yeah.
doing superhuman events because your body buys into what your mind wants.
Hmm.
We rarely go back the other way. Well, what does your body want? What does your body need? And the fact that you were like, oh, I did this and this, and then my body's like, thank you. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Because what happens is the body breaks down over time, Shannon. Over time, it's just
Mm.
like, I can't do it anymore. Like, you
Right.
didn't take care of me all this time. And you think about before you were born, your body has been with you since before you were born.
Oh.
So it holds all your answers. And sometimes we're looking outward for other people's answers to our questions when your body's going, hello, I'm here.
Right.
Ask me. I know
Right.
the answer. And then sometimes we ask, we still ignore the answer.
Right.
Right. And then
Yeah.
I just want to remind everybody in your wonderful audience, you don't need to go through big trauma. There's now science tracking little T's accumulated over time have the same effect on our bodies.
Wow.
Like you're
Yeah.
entitled to heal no matter what level of recognition you want to acknowledge. Because none of us, when we were born, had little manuscripts. It doesn't matter how wonderful your parents were. There were
Right.
periods of time we felt really powerless as babies because our
Yeah.
parents couldn't figure it out. We couldn't use English and go, hello, I need to change my diaper and then I need you to burp
Right.
me and I need to be held this certain way and I'm a little tad cold. We don't tell our parents that. They have to figure it out.
Right. We didn't come with manuals. So, what would you tell these working women? Because I know a lot of them that are listening, they are feeling the burnout, they're feeling the exhaustion, but they're like, what do you want me to do about that? What advice would you give them?
All right. This is going to be really hard to hear for them and I'm okay with it because I was one of those, right?
Mhm.
How much self-care do you give yourself permission for per day? Every single day. And I'm talking about minutes. You're taught. I am a recovering perfectionist, like person that used to say to myself, if you could brush your teeth and wash your face, that's good enough for you, right?
Me
And
too. I'm recovering from that as well.
right when my kids were babies, I barely brushed my teeth. I have a lot of cavities now that I'm dealing with the dentist every freaking year, twice a year, right? Every 6 months, I got to get another tooth cleaned up. I didn't even do skincare, like sunblock. What's sunblock?
Right.
I dare you. I dare you to consider, well, what if I need at least 30 minutes to get ready? And I'm not talking about social media scrolling while you're brushing your teeth and washing your face. I'm saying, because I just had this conversation, and this is a person who talks about finding your own truth, okay? My therapist called me. I see a therapist, a complex PTSD therapist, at least once a month because I got to keep myself grounded. And she's like,
Absolutely.
Jenny, have you not given yourself permission for your self care? I'm like, I haven't. I know I need it. If I was to be honest, for me, if I don't get enough sleep, I don't wake up early enough for the 90 minutes I need. And when
Mm.
I say 90 minutes, I'm not doing a Korean face mask, okay? I'm not doing the red light. That's additional work. I'm waking up first thing in the morning. Before I even go pee, I do somatic exercises because a lot of us don't are not taught that for you to wake up in the morning, your brain gets flooded with cortisol to increase your wake up ability. And
Mhm.
for me, I actually have trauma with waking up in the morning. I didn't realize that. I'm really stressed when I open my eyes and I'm stressed. So I do somatic exercise to calm my body down first. And then the next thing I do is physical therapy exercises because no one tells us that the leg length shortening that the chiropractor told you is because you actually have an SI imbalance in your hips.
Mm.
And when I re-lengthen and reset my sacroiliac joint, which goes out of place when you're sleeping, it's natural. It does that because you're lying still for long periods of time.
Right.
When I reset that, I'm really in my body. Then I do energy clearing, two different levels of it, and then I journal. Then I do drops, and I do sprays, and then I brush my teeth, and I put on my face care and my face cream. That takes a good 90 minutes if I'm really in my body.
Right.
You don't need to do 90 minutes if you can just start with that. And I know we think, oh, I just need a bath. Yes, a bath is really good. And warm water is really good. You can hit your Asian era with us, be Asian with us. It's great. And what else does your body need? I have a whole ritual around how much water I need to drink.
Hmm.
We're really severely dehydrated.
Yes, we are.
You all right, Shannon? So if you and now that you've been coming out with research, your children that are watching you, if you're a mother, they're going to treat themselves how they watch you treat yourself.
Hmm.
So it
Yes.
won't matter how well you coddle them, but if you're ignoring yourself and not role modeling your own self care, they will grow up to ignore themselves
Hmm.
and
That's
lead
true.
themselves back down bad pathways that you work so hard as a mother to encourage them to have. So,
Right.
essentially, if you're role modeling how you want your kids to care for themselves, they will do that. But if you're role modeling, I'm going to ignore my own needs, they will also exemplify that. So think of it as bigger
Excellent.
than I couldn't change for myself, Shannon. It was to keep my daughter alive and my
Yeah.
son alive because both of them they have a lot of behind the scenes things that they
Right.
battle every day. Like they're on medications for it. We watch them very carefully and they're watching me slowly put myself first. So they'll
Hmm.
do the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's important as well. I mean, I even think about the words that we say to ourselves or about ourselves because I'll I'll catch myself saying, "Oh, I don't like the way this looks on me." And then I'll see my daughter say, "Oh, I don't like the way this look," and she sounds just like me and I'm going, "No, you look beautiful." And so you're right. I mean, it is you want to role model that for, for the moms that are listening. You want to role model that for your kids. Or even if you don't have kids, you want to role model for the kids you're around. There's a lot of aunts, people that are like, secondary moms, so everybody needs to just role model and even watch your words. I think your words are important, what you say about yourself as well.
So much so. There's two things that I actively do to battle that. There's one thing that's it's called positive intelligence. So it is science based through the University of Stanford around the fact that oftentimes we're not even aware we have saboteurs sitting in the back seat. And oftentimes they're not necessarily verbal, they're emotion driven. Okay, and
Mhm.
we'll feel a certain way and not know that we're doing it to ourselves. Like my critics all have my mother's voice, even if I don't hear them. I just have the memory of my mother's disapproval if I do something and I'll feel shameful about something when I have no need to feel shameful about it,
Right.
right? Or there'll be days when because I don't have my period anymore after chemotherapy, but
Uh-huh.
there'll be days when I feel thicker and
Mhm.
I'll hear and feel my mom's shame about me looking fatter in the mirror when I'm not,
Right.
yet my perception is such. So
Right.
I do that with the it's called the PQ app, and we there's a whole assessment that I've noticed has shifted. By the way, I used to be like a perfectionist. Now I'm more of like a conflict avoider. But I used to be like high on the my scores are super high for people pleaser. And
Mhm.
now it's more like just conflict avoidance. I just don't want to deal with it, which I think
Right.
is healthy in some ways. And then the
Yeah.
other thing that I suggest is when you practice shifting your own perspective. So you remember the Care Bears?
Yes. Oh, I love the Care Bears.
All right, all right. So I'm a deter style teacher, and Rachel Bryce, who came up with this format, she has us as deter teachers learn to model the Care Bear stare, which is full of love,
Yeah.
not just for other people, but for ourselves. So
Mhm.
when you do a daily practice, I'm doing 100 days of dance right now. You can find that on Jenny C. Cohen for Instagram and Facebook. And you just pick five random songs. You rotate one song per day with a different prompt. Right now we're doing torso only. So like I rotate through my song where I can only move shoulders, torso, and hips and nothing else. And I
Oh, wow.
video myself while I'm doing it. Right? Then I watch the video. Whoa! And then I had to pick three things that I like.
Wow.
Right, ones I can hear people gagging. I did
Yes.
in the future,
People
and
are
then I
like,
pick.
I'm out.
You're right. And then I pick one thing I would change. Not one thing I don't like.
Mm,
One
yeah.
thing I would change. Meaning, I felt that I didn't see it, so I would shift it a little bit.
Yeah.
When you do this every day, you become really comfortable looking yourself in the mirror and seeing the positives in yourself.
I love
You will
that.
shift it like a muscle.
I love that. This has been such an amazing conversation. Jenny, where I know where can our listeners, where do you want them to connect with you?
You can message me on like the private messaging through Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook under Jenny C. Cohen. Let me know you came from Shannon's show, okay? And some people are a little bit leery of that because they don't want me to, they think I'm going to pester them. You don't have to worry about that. You can go to Move to Bloom, MOVETOBLOOM.com. I give a monthly free, it's subsidized by a 501c uh, um, Raw Epiphany that's based out in Utah. It's subsidized by the 501c that people can do this free masterclass once a month with me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You have given us so much information and so many challenges, but I always really like to leave them with just one thing that they can do today. My listeners, so what is the one thing that you would challenge them to do today, for them?
Yeah. All right, because you got high achievers in your audience here.
Yes.
So I'm gonna teach them a thing that I teach all my clients, and we all actively use in my life and with all my clients. My family does this. We do muscle testing. Muscle testing is applied kinesiology, where you ask your body the question, right? And so your question, once I show you how to do muscle testing, there's 3 different layers to do it. Is you're gonna be like, is my self-care routine enough? That's the only question. It's a yes, no. And if it's no, then you'll be like, you can go through, like, do I need to wash my face more? Do I need to do more self care? It's all yes and no, very simple 3rd grade questions, okay? And your body will give you the answers. Hear me? Here's a caveat. If you're not usually checking in with your body may decide, she's not really going to listen, so I'm not going to really give her an answer. And that's okay. What happens is over time, as you ask it more, it will be like, oh, she's really listening. I'll give her a strong answer. All right. So there's 3 ways to muscle test. You can stand up and just ask yourself, say to yourself, yes. And you normally, if with your eyes closed, normally when you say yes to yourself, it'll be leaning forward. And if you say no, your body will want to lean away backwards, right? Then
I
you go,
noticed I did that and I
yeah,
was like
we're
leaning
both
forward
doing it. Well,
before you
yes,
even
no.
said,
So then what you're going to do, so just to confirm that's your yes and your no, you can say your name. My name is, and Shannon would say, my name is Shannon Abbott. My name is Jenny C. Cohen. My eyes closed, my body will lean forward. Yes, you are. Now, unless you're Penelope Cruz, who's listening in on this conversation, now you can say, my name is Penelope Cruz, and I can feel my body going, no, you're not, right? Yeah, or my color eyes are brown. And my body goes, yes, you are. I'm sitting down, I can feel myself leaning forward. And then I've always wanted green eyes. There are Asian people with green eyes. I'm not one of them, but like, yeah, my eyes are green. My body goes, no, you're not. I'm like, how about with contacts? No, you're not. Damn it. Okay, so that's one way. Number 2, you can hold your finger like in the OK sign, where the thumb and the pointer finger are very, very tight together, pinched together. And in that scene, you take your other hand, palm towards you, and you try to pull it through, right? And you go, my name is Jenny C. Cohen, your name. And my body goes, yes, you are. And then I release, my name is Shannon Fox. And I'm squeezing, but I can pull through. My body goes, no, you're not. I mean, she's cute, but you're not. Like, remove the wig. You're not Shannon Fox, Jenny, right? My eyes are brown. My eyes are purple. And my body goes, no. Even with contacts? Come on. Nope. Okay. Yeah. 3rd one, so like this ring one, I do when I work with my clients, when I'm muscle testing for someone else. For myself, I love this one. I'm going to tilt my camera now so you can see. I make a pistol with my finger, and it's usually my non-dominant hand. It looks like you're dominant for you because we're mirrored in the Zoom. But I will bring my elbow down below my shoulder, and it's long, straight through my index finger. And I take the middle knuckle and I push down. It's very firm. Then I take my finger on, I go, my name is Jenny C. Cohen. My eyes are brown. My name is Penelope Cruz. No matter how hard I hold it now, my finger will not stay up. I can push it down pretty fairly easily. My eyes are purple. No. My eyes are brown. Yes.
Yeah.
You have 3 layers. Try all 3 and see which one's stronger for yourself.
Yes, I love that. I love it. I remember I had one time and I was doing it and I had my arm out. It was the same thing. Someone was doing it and my arm went down so fast and and my doctor was like, "Oh, wow. Okay, that was a very strong no."
Yeah,
We now know what we need to work on.
exactly. I love that you did that with the doctor because they just had a physical therapy study come out where they did muscle testing for sacral iliac misalignment. So they have actual physical therapy tests if your SI joint is out of whack. And then they also did it with another group where they just did muscle testing.
Wow.
And it was like a high level accuracy with muscle testing. Like the body could tell you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the body is so powerful. So powerful. Well, thank you, Jenny, for being here. This has been such a wonderful conversation.
Thank you for having me, Jen.
If today's episode sparked something for you, a question, an idea, or a realization, don't ignore it. I offer promotion strategy calls where we walk through your current role, your goals, and how to position you for your next promotion or raise without burning out or overworking. You can book that call using the link in the description. And if this episode helped you, sharing it or leaving a quick review makes a bigger difference than you know. Until next time, keep showing your value clearly. You've earned it.